Hi, good morning. Today is Thursday, May 14th, and this video is going to walk you through how to look at your results for the strong assessment that you did. I gave you a link to do the online assessment in the announcement titled Strong. In my last video that I posted on Monday, I told you that you guys would be getting that. So hopefully you guys are on that. Please pay attention to the deadlines. I did extend it out past the week because I wanted people to have time to be able to do the assessment plus be able to get their results back. So I will be emailing you your results as they come in. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through a quick PowerPoint on your strong. All right, so hopefully you are seeing my screen. It looks like you are. So the strong interest inventory is designed to identify patterns and interests of how these interests relate to your potential career, academic, or leisure options. So you have probably done some type of personality assessment in the past, whether it be some kind of Myers-Briggs, maybe Strengths Finder, maybe you've done this before or something similar. Or maybe you've done, I remember doing one to wait tables, like, at Applebee's or something like that years ago. They wanted to see what kind of, personality you have. And so a lot of companies might, use stuff like this. But this is unique as far as it's looking at your interests, your skills, your abilities as they relate to potential careers. So the four main things that we're going to look at are going to be the general occupational themes, basic interest scales, occupational scales, and then personal scale styles. So here is the big Myers-Briggs that the strong is somewhat molded after. It's kind of from the same type of thought process. But so if you've ever done this is like a 500 question test. If you've done the test in its full entirety, sometimes people will get offered truncated versions where you might only do 100 or something like that, 100 questions. So you get an idea. But if you were to do the full gamut, I think it's like 500 questions. So the strong is going to look at only 6 different categories that it's going to kind of put you in. It's going to start with realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, and conventional. Now, here's the assumption behind this. Basically, um, your occupational environments allow you to use your skills and aptitudes. Because here's this. This is mind blowing, right? So hang on to your seat. Here it goes. Ready? People tend to gravitate towards what they like and stay away from things they don't like. Mind blowing. But here's the thing. If you can figure out what you like and what you're good at and then make a living off of that, that's money right there. So if you think about it, think about 4 different quadrants. You've got passion with skill. That's where you want to be. You can have passion and no skill. Like I really love to sing. I'm absolutely terrible. I mean, like 100% terrible, but I love to sing. I'm singing all the time. Like actually yesterday I was at the car wash and then I was vacuuming my car. I had my earbuds in. Dude, I was belting it out. So anybody within a 5-mile radius could probably hear me and they're like, oh my God, Al, what is that noise? Somebody put that thing out of its misery. But I enjoy it. But I'm passionate, no skill. Then you have where you have skill, but you're not passionate, like I'm really good at typing, or I'm really good at, attention to detail, so I can put in data, right? But I'm not passionate about that. I'm good at it, but I'm not passionate about it. And then over in the other quadrant, the very bottom, you've got no passion, no skill. Okay, so what are you even doing over there, right? That would just be like, okay, well, we just had to put you somewhere. And this makes me think about like my son. So if you guys don't know, I have my oldest son is a Marine. He's still in his training. He'll be finishing up in the next week or so. But he's in the crash fire rescue school, and that is a really tough school. There's only like a 27% pass rate. And we talk on our weekly basis, he's telling me, oh, this guy flunked, this guy flunked it. So people are flunking out of this class because it's really, really tough, which is actually a good thing because you want them to be, really good at what they do, right? You don't want them just passing people through. But so these Marines who are not passing in this crash fire rescue are having to be placed into other jobs, that and they could find themselves with zero passion, zero skill. Hopefully, the Marines are going to look and see what they are skilled at. They might not be passionate about it, but again, hopefully they're good at it. But that could be the only time I'm thinking about you might be stuck in something. I'm not passionate about it. I'm not really good at it, but I'm being forced to do it. Maybe think about like a chore. Like my younger son has chores at the house. He has to dust. He has to pick up the dog poop in the backyard. Hates it, you know, but it is what it is, right? So you can kind of think of it like that. But if you can find yourself in the quadrant of you're passionate and you're good at it, that's money. That's where you want to be. That's the sweet spot. So you could be like, I really like finance, or I really like sports, but I just don't know what I want to do with it. Or I know I want to open my own business, or I know I want to work in business, but I don't exactly know what I want to do. That's why this strong is really, really great, because it's going to kind of help like narrow it down for you. Some things that kind of help you think about, well, did you know that these were occupational opportunities for you? And I also assigned occupational research for you guys on Monday. So you can also be, this is going hand in hand with that. Like, what does that job really entail? You might be like, oh, I want to be a financial analyst. I've always wanted to be a financial analyst. Well, do you know exactly what a financial analyst does? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. So like for me, like when I graduated high school, I was a writer. I had already been published a couple times. I wanted to be a writer. I was going in for journalism. I was like, I'm going to be a journalist. I'm going to travel all around with National Geographic. I'm going to see the world and I'm going to write. Well, I started taking my journalism classes and I was like, this sucks. I'm a creative writer. I like to use my imagination. I used to like to use figurative and colorful language. I really like that. But like journalism is just the facts. It's very technical writing, and that's not for me. I didn't know that until, took a class. So same with this, like you don't know what you don't know until you actually start digging in and figuring it out, maybe job shadowing, or this is why internships are 100% amazing and why every major I believe should require an internship. But you guys in the School of Business, you do have to do an internship. It's like a try it before you buy it. So you don't end up going through all of your schooling and then, get your first job as a financial analyst and then a couple, weeks into the job and you're like, this sucks. I hate this. Now, but I have a degree in finance and now I don't know what to do. Internships, fantastic, hands down, totally. All right, so that's my little soapbox. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a cool activity. You don't have this worksheet. This is the same presentation I use for my in-class students. Obviously, we're not going to do it, but we're going to look at each one of these categories: realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, and conventional. And as I put them up on the screen, I want you to read. We're going to do the first one together. I want you to look at this. The realistic are the doers. So if you're following along, get out a sheet of paper and, I would like you to look at the doers. So these people like to work with their hands, tools, machinery, computer networks, practical and physically active. They enjoy fixing, building, repairing, working outdoors, described as practical, persistent, adventurous, sensible, self-reliant, may buy outdoor or sporting equipment or power tools, and their primary motivation is they use hands-on skills to produce tangible results. So as you're looking at that, put on your paper R for realistic. Now, did any of this jump out at you? Does this describe you in any way, shape, form, or fashion? So as I'm looking at this, fun fact about me, I have a workshop. I love to build stuff. Again, I'm passionate about it. I'm not good at it. I mean, I've built tables and they're not sturdy. I mean, man, don't put a level on it. Don't try to put anything. Don't sit on my chairs. I mean, you'll fall off. But I enjoy doing it. It's just something I enjoy doing. Fun fact too, I'll have my earbuds in. I'll be singing while I'm building crappy stuff. It's my life. Don't judge me. All right. So as I'm looking at this, I'd be like, ooh, machinery, yes. Working outdoors, yes. Building, yes. I'm adventurous, yes. I'm very self-reliant. I have lots of power tools. I do enjoy seeing the tangible results. So this really describes a lot of me. So I would just be jotting this stuff down. So in a realistic, I could put down several stuff. Now you might be looking at this and you're like, none of that is me. Like these hands don't touch tools. These hands don't get dirty. Whatever. Again, zero judgment. But if you're looking at that, you're like, that has nothing to do with me, then don't write anything down. But any of those stuff, if you're physically active, you're sensible, self-reliant, you like sporting equipment, write that stuff down under R. All right. So now that's how it should do it over the next 5 ones. And then, so please pause the video because I'm going to put the slide up there. Pause it. Okay. Next one is investigative, the thinkers. Pause this video, read through the slide, write down anything that jumps out at you under investigative. Artistic, creators. Pause the video, read it, write down anything that jumps out at you about being artistic. Social, which is the helpers. Pause the video. Enterprising, which are the persuaders. And conventional, which are the organizers. Pause the video. Okay. So again, you don't have this worksheet, but under each of those 6 letters, how much did you write under each letter? So if you wrote a whole bunch under I, a couple under R, and some under C, but none under E or S or A or something like that, you're gonna just look at what you wrote and pick 1 to 3 letters that you wrote the most in. So I wrote, and as an educator, if you go back and you look at social, if you guys will probably can deduce, I scored very, very high in social. I'm a nurturer. I'm an educator. I like to help people. I like to work with people. I've been doing this for, 20 plus years. So I'm really high in social. So on that social, if I go back, if I look at social, I would have wrote so many things down from this slide. And so my social category would be really, really high, even though my realistic category was kind of high. And that's just more of a hobby. But when I think about who I am at my core, I'm a social person. Okay. So then you're going to come up with 1 to 3 letters that best describe you, from what you wrote the most in to what you wrote the least in, but only pick 3. You might have 1, you might have 2, you might have 3, but no more than 3. That's your theme code. That's going to be your guesstimated theme code. Now, on your actual results will be the Strong's theme code, which will be right on the front. So if you have your results and you're going through this video with your results, should be right on the front where it says what your results are. All right, so let's look at your general occupation themes. Remember, I said we're going to go over 4 things: the general occupation themes, the basic interest scales, the occupation scales, and in your personal style scales. So who am I? What I want to do, where I want to do it, and how I want to do it. Those are the things that we want to be looking at. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I wasn't going. Okay, so here's your general occupation themes. So again, looking at your letters that you chose, or if you've got your strong in front of you, you can look and see what the strong said. Hopefully they were very similar. What you picked about yourself, and then what the actual strong said about you. Hopefully they're very, very similar, if not spot on. So what we want to do is we're going to look at these general occupation themes. So under realistic, I'm going to go to, like you can see here where it has the, oops, I don't know what I'm doing. Here it'll say like theme. I can't see. This is so, I have to look over here. Theme, the code, the interests, the work activities, the potential skills, and then the values. Sorry, my old lady eyes cannot see that. I have glasses here somewhere. Then you guys will just make fun of me, I'm sure. Okay, so anyway. All right, so as I look under realistic, oh, I'm sorry, social is the first one. See, I can't even read that. Gosh, go ahead and make fun of me. Social, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. You guys make fun of me all you want. All right, social, all right, is people, teamwork, helping, community service. Those would be the interests, right? That makes sense. Work activities would be teaching, caring for people, counseling, training employees. I told you earlier that I scored really high in social. Makes a lot of sense, right? Look at what I do for a living. I'm an educator. I work in career services. I coach people. I actually have my own coaching business on the side as well for leadership development. I help train employees. There you go. Potential skills, people skills, verbal ability, listening, showing understanding, empathy, My values or social values would be cooperation, generosity, and service to others. So take a moment, pause the video, and look at all the other themes as well, and go across and look at the activities, the work activities, so on and so forth. Do you feel like they describe you? Pause the video. All right, so then there is your, again, looking at your guesstimated theme code against yours. Da, da, da. I'm going to go through here. Okay, so that is the who I am part, talking about your values according to your top letters. Now, let's look at your basic interest scales. This is the what you would like to do, right? Here's the what part. So looking at your results, there's pages and pages and pages of your results. But what we want to look at is this page here. And honestly, too, if you go all the way to go to the very back of your results. They just did a recent update, and I haven't seen the newest kind of results, but like it should be like the last to the second to last page or something like that, and it'll have these four scales all on one page. But this one, as you can see, it's been circled, and it tells you looking at the highest kind of occupations that there are. That's the what. That's the kind of jobs that would go along really well, or the kind of industries, if you will, that will go along really well with your particular theme, like how you answered these questions. If you put effort into it, they're pretty accurate. So that's the what. Now let's talk about the where. Okay, where would you want to do this? So everybody has this in their results as well. The blue means that it is hyperlinked. So those are your top 10 professions according to the strong. It does not mean that if you don't see your profession on here, that you need to go and change your major or anything like that, or that you have to change your whole trajectory. These are just things according to the strong that says that these would be some good careers for you to explore. Now, they are hyperlinked to a website called mynextmove.org. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I am going to go to mynextmove.org. When it takes you to My Next Move, I'm going to share my screen for you. It'll take you, like if you click on any one of those links, it'll take you right to kind of that particular page of that career. But we're just going to go here since I just typed in mynextmove.org. All right, so let's just say, like I used financial analyst before. So here we've got financial manager, right? I'm going to click on that. Look how it takes me to this really cool page. Here are some keywords that would be used to describe this. Maybe you want to make sure you have stuff like this on your resume, or these would be kind of search words that maybe recruiters might use, or you might be looking when you're looking for jobs. You can even watch a video, like a day in the life of a financial manager. Here's what they do. Here's stuff on the jobs, some knowledge, skills, abilities. So you could be looking at this and be like, ooh, okay, I'm not really that comfortable in my speaking. Hey, now you know that that is a top skill a financial manager would need. So you need to start working on that. You can't just go, well, that's not a skill I have, so therefore I'm not going to work on it. You need to develop it if that is a skill that is necessary for that job, right? If you're wanting to go into accounting and you're like, I'm just not really all that great with numbers, but I really want to be an accountant, you're in the passion and no skill box, right? But you can, but you can develop skills. So no stress, just get on it, start working on it. You can watch some of my employability skills series videos on communication. I got tons of stuff on there about communication. All right, so going down, here's some personality traits. Okay, here's some technology. Now, I'm not sure how accurate this is. I would double check. I know sometimes when I talk to the accounting department, I'll be like, is this an accurate, technology? And they give me something different. So you can always just double check. But here's an idea of some of the things that you might want to be versed in. Now, I tell my students this all the time. It's one thing to be proficient or to be good at something. It's a totally different ball game if you are certified. So you could take certification courses over the summer, over break, during the school year, whatever. If I'm looking at this and it says Oracle, PeopleSoft, or Workday software, Microsoft PowerPoint, dude, get on like Coursera or Udemy and pay $50 and take a course and then get certified. And so then on your resume, you're like certified in Microsoft PowerPoint. I'm certified in Excel versus just saying proficient because that is going to level you up from any of your competition. It just makes you stand out. And I am not even going to try to sugarcoat this, y'all. The market is hard. It is saturated. You guys are up against some serious competition. That is why networking hands down is the best thing that you can do for yourself. You must network. There's just no ways around that. If not, you are just making things very much more difficult for yourself. Very much more. Is that, I'm not an English teacher, so we're just gonna let that slide. Don't make it more difficult for yourself than it needs to be. Okay, so network. But if there's things that you can do to set yourself apart from your competition, get your resume like it has to be so robust that it's getting, first of all, it's getting past any type of applicant tracking system, which we call ATS, or any other type of maybe either AI software if a company is using that. If you are just hand delivering your resume or emailing it to a specific person, that's top. That's the best. But if you are just applying on websites or applying through job boards, there's a possibility it's going to go through some kind of AI, some type of applicant tracking system. And your resume has to be top notch in order to not get kicked out. Because there's so many weird things that it will like confuse the system. So we're going to talk about that next Monday when we talk about resumes. So I'm not going to go too deep into that. But anything that you can put onto your resume that's going to make you stand out, you need to do so. So if you could be certified in something versus just being proficient or being, knowledgeable, do it. If you have extra time, do it. Repurpose your time. And instead of doom scrolling, and hey, I'm guilty of it too. My alarm went off at 6. I did not get out of bed until 6:40 because I was scrolling. And I didn't even mean to. Somebody just sent me a message on Instagram and I was like, ooh, let me see what he said. And then all of a sudden that from checking that one message, got sucked in and I lost 40 minutes. That 40 minutes, I could have been reading. I could have walked the dogs. I could have, gotten a good workout in. I could have worked on my business. There are things that you can repurpose your time. During lunch, during your downtime, during your weekends, you could be taking courses that are they're self-paced, and then you get a certification at the end of it, and that's way better than just doom scrolling or watching, TV. What is adding value to your life? What is adding value? Ask yourself, for every activity that you do, is it adding value or is it taking time away? Because time is the one resource you will never get back, and it is limited. You only have so much. So, are you adding value or are you wasting your time? There you go, food for thought. I know you guys can drop me some cash app. You can sell me for my additional coaching, or I can just send you a bill. It's all good. All right. Look here at the job outlook. It's bright. That's excellent. Again, we're just using this as an example. You can do any occupation that you want. If you are going to be a farmer, if you're going to be a sports agent, if you're going to be, an athletic director, or you want to be in HR. HR is really great. It's booming too. That's a job. These things are not going away. AI is not going to take over everybody's job. So guys, just stop freaking out about that. We still need humans. You guys are going to be fine. So here, look at this. This is starting. Here's about mid. Here's about the top. Now, this is also geographically tied. Think about that. You guys know that. If you're going to be in New York City or like say LA, you're going to get paid a lot more than if you're in like Monkey's Eyebrow, Kentucky. That's actually a real place, by the way, because of cost of living. So keep that in mind. So this is going to be with experience, with education, and also geographically tied. Here you can check out, you can go to local salaries, you can look for finding jobs, you can check out jobs in your state, and so on. This is just a phenomenal tool. You could go down this rabbit hole. I know I do when I'm working with students, like, hey, let's look at this, let's look at that. it's just a great tool for you to see what kind of jobs are out there and are they locally sourced. That's another thing to think about that maybe you hadn't thought of. I know I didn't. Not every job exists in every city. You know, teachers, nurses, doctors, stuff like that, accountants, things that are like that every city needs. Yes, okay, but some things like consulting or stockbrokers or something like that. So if you're going for something that's a little bit more niche, you might have to keep that in mind. Where you're going to be living. So if you're going to be very niche and you have to be able to relocate, stuff like that. So keep all that kind of stuff in mind. All right, so this is just a phenomenal resource for you. Let's go ahead and go back to our PowerPoints. Here we are, moving right along. So these are your PowerPoint. There we go. How to call it. All right, so this is the where you would like to work. All right, now your personal scale styles is how. So when you look at this, you'll see these little dots. This is like the how you like to work. Now, yours might be a little bit more midstream because maybe you just don't have as much experience just yet. If you're a little bit further along in your college and career journey and you've had some opportunity to experience different type of working environments, your results might be a little bit more polarized. But if you're like, I'm just starting out, I really don't know if I want to work with teams or over myself. I don't know if I like learning by doing or by reading. It could be more average or midline, which is totally fine. If you go back and take this again as a professional working in the field for a couple years, you'll see that you would have more polarized results. But this just basically tells you kind of like how you like to work. And I like variety. So like my office is in Becker and over the summer there's maybe 4 people that come into this office throughout the summer. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's nice and quiet. I get so much work done. Whereas across campus where my headquarters for career services is, it's in Rogers and you've got everybody still coming to work there. That building is busy. It's loud. There's tons of people. They got the tours that come through. It's very, in that office the phones are ringing. There's multiple people in that office. Like I don't want any part of that. I don't want any part of that. So part of me likes to work alone. But during the school year, when you guys are on campus and I get to teach and all of my colleagues are here and the professors are here and it's a lot, like, I love that too. So like, I'm saying like, I like both, but but for the most part, like I really want to work kind of, I want to do my own thing. I want to be left alone to do my thing. So mine would be more towards like I like to work up by myself. But I can jump into a team environment as long as I'm not inundated constantly with team stuff all the time. I need to like recharge my social battery to be around teamwork all the time. That's what summer does for me. Like I get so much like and then so I'm like a rip roaring and ready to go by the time you guys come back on campus. I'm like, I missed you guys so much. I'm like, I can't wait to be in the classroom with you guys again. All right. So here's that 1-page summary I was telling you about towards the end of your results, which goes through all the top things. So here's your general occupation theme at the top, which of course is the who you are. Then you have the next one, which talks about the what. Here's the where, and then here is the how. So same thing that we just went through, just broke it. Now it's just all on 1 page. So that's kind of easy access for you to look at all in 1 page. And then those are again hyperlinked. So that's this presentation. I'm not going to go through the rest of that. That is this presentation for the strong. Now you'll be able to answer the strong reflection questions. If you have any questions or if you would like to go through your individual results together, please just send me a quick email through Canvas or again through my Mox email, which is mmorrow@flsouthern.edu. If you again want to go through them together, you have any questions about your specific results. But if not, that's the strong. That's how you interpret those results, and now you'll be able to do your summary. If you haven't completed your results or haven't completed the assessment, you need to get on that quickly so that I can get those results sent out to you. All right, guys, as always, if you have any questions, let me know. I hope that your summer is awesome. And if you need anything, I'm here. All right, guys. Happy professionally developing yourself. I'll talk to you later. Bye.